Hey everybody, wanted to follow up on my weekend video about the week ahead. So we are a couple days into the week now. Tuesday market is about to close. We're 20 minutes away from that right now. And we definitely on Monday had a nice solid leg down again. And it's worth noting, I'd said on Friday the 4 hour EMA 12 was the resistance you would be concerned about. And lo and behold, we're moving down Monday pre market and then straight flush. It looks like today we didn't get a lot of follow through to the downside, which, that's not uncommon to get some sideways action after leg down. It wasn't an inside day. We actually did break the low and then get a pretty decent bounce here into the end of the day on QQQ. But again, from my perspective, nothing has changed here on this 30-minute chart where the 4 hour EMA 12 is resistance, the 5 day simple moving average is resistance. And yes, we're getting a bounce sideways, but this is just par for the course for these moves. Like if you just look at it this way, okay, so basically here was the real breakdown happened up here. This was that week where I was really bummed I didn't short the top and get a hedge on. But basically, you get a leg down and then sideways towards the 4 hour moving average, and then leg down, sideways, leg down. Tried to break out, got stuck here, leg down. Bounce, where does it stop? 4 hour. Sideways, 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 leg down. Bounce up, where does it stop? There. Down. Like it's just, and now we're into more sideways, 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 sideways. Like this, you can't get fooled into thinking that the downside is over because you're getting some bounces intraday. You've still got the storm clouds up above, right? I showed this before. The 4 hour EMA 12 is this big old cloud that's just looming over top, and it's gonna linger. It's gonna follow us all the way down this cloud. And so at some point it's going to change, but it really hasn't changed yet. And even today, I was looking intraday trying to think, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe we're finally getting the change we need. And the reality is, on the larger time frame, I don't see it. I just don't see it. So like, here, let me put on here this guy here so you can see the intraday levels. I'll go to the 5 minute. So on the morning, there's the level. So this purple line is the low of yesterday, right? So on the morning, we try to break to the upside. We can't go higher than basically just above the pre-market high. And then we come down, define the opening range low here, try to go back up, fail, come down, test the low of yesterday and get a bounce going from there. 15-minute lower high at that point, and we come all the way back down. We break the low of yesterday, and then that's straight into a V-shaped bounce that basically is almost like a megaphone. So kind of difficult price action to trade. And when we broke down below yesterday, I was feeling like, okay, I guess we're just going to continue down right now. And so the reversal here is notable for sure, right? It's a lower low with no follow through. You could call it a look below and fail, right? But how far did we get? Yes, we had a nice rally, but we're still just chopping sideways under the 4 hour EMA 12. So I still don't think there's a big reason to be bullish here, except that this is the only thing that gives me any bit of hope that we might be getting a bottom, because we basically set a fresh low that did not have follow through. But again, we're just pinching sideways. So we would need to see something significantly change. And that would be like, if we gapped up tomorrow, for example, and we were holding, and then on the gap up, we held the gap, that would be a big deal. That would be a big change. Or holding the low of today, tomorrow. That's another thing that would be good. But again, we'd just be getting tight, tight, tight. And if we're in an overall, like in a higher time frame downtrend, and we're getting tighter and tighter and tighter, the most likely scenario is trend continuation. So not feeling super excited about a reversal here yet. I need to see something change personally, and I guess that means that in order for me to get long on anything, I'm going to be a patient bull and just wait for probably an hourly high or low or something like that to take my shot. Wait for the 4-hour EMA 12 to be broken and have us move above it significantly, possibly even get up here into the red zone, and then go for a higher low off of that for a move back up. But ultimately, what am I looking for is just a weekly lower high somewhere up here, get a lower high, and then hedge that to the downside just to protect my long-term positions, right? Really quickly, running through the other names, Apple continued to be weak today, similar to everything else, sideways and down. I think the big notable differences this morning were, so Meta actually put in no, it actually broke the high of yesterday. I thought it was an inside bar, but no, it was a little bit stronger, but then just more sideways, really. Amazon got above yesterday's high, but it's actually above the 4-hour EMA 12 here, you can see, and it's done that a few times on the way down, but it's still below the 5-day. Anyway, Tesla had relative strength in the morning, but look where it is. Like, for all the strength, it's still just below the 4-hour EMA 12. Microsoft was weak on the morning, and just has basically been sideways. Google, I think, was weaker, but has a nice V-shaped bounce out of there. But where's the 4-hour? Where is it? We're below it still. And finally, NVIDIA, which I traded quite a bit today, managed to break the high of the morning and even do a look above and fail so far above yesterday's high. And it's currently trying to hold above the 4-hour EMA 12. So we'll see if this name is finally going to get a reversal. Also worth noting here on the daily time frame, this 500 breakout level, that the overnight low, which happened down here, so yesterday after hours low, basically touched the anchored VWAP from the 500 breakout. So when NVIDIA had the huge breakout above the 500 price tag before there was the 10 times split, that was here. And we basically touched that, and it hasn't been touched since back here in, what was that? August, probably. Yeah, that was the carry trade unwind happened there. And so we touched it. So we broke out from 500, and we touched it once here, twice here, and this is the third touch of that level. So worth noting that that's where the bounce came from on NVIDIA, and that's why I was more interested in this name long today, but again, it didn't really push. I was hoping that when we got above yesterday's high, we were going to see follow through, but I could just tell on the tape this thing didn't really have the legs it needed today to get going. And it is in a larger term on a weekly downtrend. So we'll see what happens the rest of the week. But I just wanted to follow up, and I feel like it's super important to just stay aware of these higher time frames. Zoom out to your 30-minute chart, hourly chart, find the MA that is holding it down, and use that as your guide. If you're not above that MA, then you can always get another leg lower. And yes, we've gone down a lot at this point. It doesn't mean we can't keep going. Personally, I'm definitely more into the mindset of trying to find a bottom, and I'm making short intraday trades to try to catch a bottom and get risk-free and have a stop in place. But it's been a lot of pain as I've tried to do that over the last few trading days. And again and again and again, I get risk-free, I get stopped out. I get risk-free, I get stopped out. I get risk-free, I get stopped out. And it's a pain. It's not fun. And the whole time I'm like, man, I should have just been shorting. So even now I'm like, I probably should have shorted this top. Anyway, I digress. Watch the 4-hour EMA 12, and don't believe the bulls until they really prove it.